In the expansive embrace of the Baltic Sea, a geopolitical drama unfolds as Russia and NATO engage in a subtle yet significant tug-of-war. The sea, once a tranquil canvas, is now adorned with the complexities of power dynamics. How do these nations navigate the cool waters of diplomacy, their strategies concealed like treasures beneath the waves? After the Cold War ended in the early 1990s, the Baltic Sea region, which includes countries like Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, as well as neighboring Russia, became a focal point for geopolitical tensions. The dissolution of the Soviet Union led to the independence of the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, and many of them sought closer ties with Western institutions, particularly NATO and the European Union. NATO, a military alliance of Western countries, started expanding its membership to include former Eastern Bloc countries and ex-Soviet republics, including some Baltic states. This expansion eastward was seen as a way to promote stability and security in the region. Russia, on the other hand, viewed NATO's expansion as a threat to its security interests. The presence of NATO forces and infrastructure closer to Russia's borders was perceived as encroachment on its traditional sphere of influence. As a result, Russia began to express concerns and take actions to protect what it perceived as its strategic interests in the Baltic Sea region. This included conducting military exercises, increasing its military presence in the area, and engaging in aggressive posturing near Baltic states. The combination of NATO's eastward expansion and Russia's assertive actions in the Baltic Sea region has created a tense and complex geopolitical situation characterized by mistrust, occasional incidents, and concerns about potential conflicts. These ongoing tensions highlight the delicate balance of power and interest in the Baltic Sea region, where the presence of NATO and Russia's historical ties to the area have contributed to a challenging geopolitical environment. In the aftermath of the Cold War, NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, sought to adapt to the changing geopolitical landscape in Europe. One of its strategies was to expand its membership beyond its original Western European and North American members. As part of this expansion, several Eastern European countries, including those in the Baltic region, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, expressed interest in joining NATO. They saw NATO membership as a way to enhance their security and stability in the post-Soviet era. NATO's open-door policy allowed these countries to apply for membership, and in 2004, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania officially became NATO member states. While NATO's expansion was welcomed by these Baltic countries as a means to enhance their security, it was met with significant concern by Russia. Russia viewed NATO's eastward expansion as a direct challenge to its security interests. From Russia's perspective, the alliance's presence moving closer to its borders was seen as a threat, as it eroded the buffer zone that had historically separated Russia from potential adversaries. This expansion also raised concerns in Moscow about the security of Russian-speaking minorities in some Baltic states, as well as the possibility of NATO basing its military assets in these countries. The admission of the Baltic states into NATO, coupled with NATO's continued interest in further enlargement, contributed to the tensions between Russia and the alliance in the Baltic Sea region. Russia has conducted large-scale military exercises, some of which involved tens of thousands of troops near its western borders and the Baltic states. These exercises were often seen as a show of force and were a source of concern for NATO and neighboring countries. The Russian military has also increased its presence in Kaliningrad, a Russian exclave located between Poland and Lithuania. This region is strategically important because it gives Russia a foothold in the Baltic Sea. Russia has deployed advanced military hardware, including missile systems and aircraft, to Kaliningrad, which has led to concerns about the potential reach of these systems into neighboring NATO countries. Aggressive military maneuvers by Russian aircraft and naval vessels in the Baltic Sea have been reported. These actions include close encounters with NATO ships and aircraft, sometimes with unsafe or unprofessional behavior. These military activities by Russia in the Baltic Sea region have raised alarm among NATO member states, particularly those bordering the Baltic Sea, and have led to increased readiness and defensive measures by NATO forces in the region. Russia has justified these military actions as necessary to protect its national security interests and respond to what it perceives as provocations by NATO. However, NATO and its member states view these actions as contributing to regional instability and increased tensions. Russia's military buildup and assertive actions in the Baltic Sea region, in response to NATO's presence and expansion, have been a significant factor in the ongoing tensions between Russia and the alliance in this strategically important area of Europe. These actions have led to concerns about the potential for incidents and miscalculations that could escalate into a larger conflict. In response to Russia's increased military activities and perceived threats in the Baltic Sea region, NATO has implemented a series of assurance measures. These measures are aimed at reassuring NATO member states in the Baltic region, particularly Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, of the alliance's commitment to their security. Assurance measures include the rotational deployment of NATO troops, particularly from Western NATO member states to the Baltic states. These deployments serve as a visible demonstration of NATO's solidarity and its readiness to defend its easternmost members. NATO has also established a more robust presence in the region, with the establishment of NATO Enhanced Forward Presence battle groups in the Baltic states and Poland. These battle groups consist of multinational troops and are designed to act as a deterrent against potential aggression. There have been numerous incidents involving Russian military aircraft and naval vessels engaging in aggressive maneuvers in close proximity to NATO ships and aircraft in the Baltic Sea. These incidents have included close flybys of NATO aircraft by Russian fighter jets, as well as Russian naval vessels approaching NATO ships in a provocative manner. In some instances, these encounters have been deemed unsafe or unprofessional by NATO officials, raising concerns about the potential for accidents or unintended escalation. Such incidents have heightened tensions in the Baltic Sea region and led to calls for improved communication and de-escalation measures between NATO and Russian forces to avoid dangerous confrontations. NATO views its presence in the Baltic Sea region as a crucial deterrent against potential aggression from Russia. The alliance's primary purpose is to ensure the collective defense of its member states. In the context of the Baltic Sea, NATO's presence, both through the deployment of troops and assets and the establishment of enhanced forward presence battle groups, serves as a visible demonstration of its commitment to protect and defend its easternmost member states, particularly Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Security and stability in the Baltic Sea region are of paramount importance to the countries in the area, as well as to neighboring states and the international community. The Baltic Sea is a vital waterway for trade, transportation, and energy transit, and it connects several countries in Northern Europe. Ensuring safe navigation and the absence of military threats in this region is essential for economic and strategic reasons. Any tensions or conflicts in the Baltic Sea have the potential to disrupt maritime trade and cause regional instability, which could have broader implications for Europe. NATO's role as a deterrent in the Baltic Sea region is to discourage potential aggression by demonstrating its commitment to defending its member states. Baltic Sea security is crucial for economic and strategic reasons, and efforts are made to promote stability and cooperation in the region through international organizations and diplomatic channels. Cyber attacks and cyber espionage activities have been attributed to state and non-state actors, and these activities can target critical infrastructure, government institutions, and communication networks. Disinformation campaigns, often propagated through social media and online platforms, aim to influence public opinion and sow discord among different ethnic and political groups in the region. Such cybersecurity challenges pose risks to the stability and security of the Baltic Sea region and can exacerbate existing tensions. NATO and individual member states in the region have been working on enhancing their cybersecurity capabilities and information sharing mechanisms to counter cyber threats effectively. International cooperation is essential in addressing these challenges, as cyber threats are transnational in nature and require collective efforts to mitigate and respond to them. Dialogue and diplomacy are essential tools for managing tensions and maintaining open lines of communication between Russia and NATO in the Baltic Sea region. Additionally, cybersecurity concerns, including cyber attacks and disinformation campaigns, are increasingly relevant issues that require collaborative efforts to address and mitigate their impact on regional stability.